Good morning, boys and girls. Quick little microphone check. Just give me an okay in chat if everything sounds okay. And we'll be ready in a few minutes. Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome. How are we all doing today? Hope you're having a good day, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be in your wonderful land. Let's turn the tunes down just some. Whoa, sorry, blasting eardrums. Totally not planned. Apologies. Let's say some good mornings very quickly. Frederick, good morning. Tony, good morning. Limited edition, welcome back. Good morning. Taylan, good morning. Alrighty, you guys have seen from the title and from the thumbnail, we have some work to do with the legendaries today. We started yesterday. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get as far as I would have liked because of, well, material limitations. But today, I hope to get a bit further with the base legendary changes that came into place on the beta a couple of days ago. It does mean that our World of Warcraft Shadowlands cheat sheet is completely out of date now, though, which means that considering there's a whole bunch of people that now use that, I feel some level of obligation to try and keep that up and running nicely. So, hi you. Good morning to you. Welcome. Good to see you all back. We may have to do a little bit of material farming today, but I'm going to farm it in my method rather than going out into the open world, because you know what the open world can do? It can go away. Open world farming is for noobs. We start from scratch. It does almost feel like that. It genuinely does almost feel like I mean, it's not a total start from scratch, but the fact that, well, let's just look at it, for example. The fact that our spreadsheet now is based upon, let's just take the mail items, for example. Our spreadsheet up until this day was based upon the fact that the cost to create each different item was the same. So not only have they changed the material requirements for each rank, we also now have different material requirements for different pieces. So the chest might cost something different to the braces, that might cost something different to the legs. So instantly, we've got like 7, maybe 8 times more. Now, on top of that, they've also changed how many you need to craft to get to the next rank. We already know that we're going to have to craft, I think it's 15 rank 1 legendaries to unlock rank 2. Once we finally unlock rank 2, we'll see how many rank 2s we need to get to rank 3, and then we're going to have to start the arduous task of crafting however many rank 2s that may be to see how many rank 3s we need to rank 4. So it's safe to say there's a lot to change in this, and that's going to be my main focus for today. So if you're not a spreadsheet fan, I apologise, but I'm doing this entirely so that you can have a resource to use to give you a really good idea of exactly how much it's going to cost you to craft your legendaries, so you know exactly how much you should be pricing them for. Boreal shards is 125 gold now, right? Still says 1,000 in the sheet. Yes, the sheet is very, very much out of date as it currently stands. We need to do a lot of work. So I'm going to apologise first and foremost if spreadsheets is not your thing, and you don't feel like talking about the base legendaries in a lot of detail today. Maybe catch one of my other videos or tune back in on Monday. But it's maintenance day for me today. That's what we got to get done. So I'm going to need a few more materials though, so I'm going to start off by doing that just while I wake up, while I allow everybody to head into the stream and say my good mornings. Dumb question, do you need to rank up all of the specific armor, or do they rank up all together? Not a dumb question, not at all. You do have to rank up each one individually. So if for a tailor, for example, a tailor actually has 9 because they also hold the cloak legendary, which is something I've not really touched on, but that's actually really powerful. Because if you think about it, jewel crafters have the rings and the necklaces, which can be used by everybody. But of course, they only have 2 base legendaries, rings and necklaces. Tailors have the entire cloth spectrum covered, plus they also craft the cloaks for everybody. So there's some logic in saying that if you're a tailor and you want an almost guaranteed successful selling item, level up your cloak first, because your potential market then has all of a sudden gone from just cloth wearers to everybody in the game that might want to equip a legendary cloak. So that's one thing I'd not really put 2 and 2 together for in my head before, but thinking back on it and looking in detail, it's having access to the new cloak base legendary, being a tailor, is actually very, very powerful. A lot of people have been wondering whether it's going to be more cost effective or more beneficial to them to level up, I don't know, the shoulders first because everybody wants the shoulders, or the chest first because everybody wants the chest. That's information that's really hard to kind of put together, because until we get into the game, it's very difficult to work out what everybody's like to do. But I also noticed yesterday, you guys will also know that I've been tracking the loot that comes from the Queen's Conservatory pretty heavily. I also noticed yesterday there's been some big significant changes to what drops from the bags in this as well. So, pick a profile, man. Good morning to you either way. Yeah, so we might actually test a few different bag types to gain some extra materials. More leather, yay. Well, I did report the leather as a bug. The fact that it drops 75 leather in a single go, I think, is a multiplication error somewhere at Blizzard, but we'll have to see. I need to check out what we've got, so let's make sure we've got plenty of these businesses going on. These are just random items we don't need. That's fine. Where is we need to buy a whole bunch of spirits. Let's buy, it doesn't really matter what we buy. Let's just buy 40 of those for now. We'll make 40 of one type of bag first. Will you do some guess list of which legendary slots will be most profitable to level first, based on legendaries that seem to be most popular when Shadowlands launch? Somebody's already done it. It wasn't me, but somebody's already done it. I will find the resource and make it somewhat publicly available. But somebody's already done it. But the problem is that's only looking at what I think, because Wowhead a couple of days ago published a list of what are going to be the best legendaries for each class and spec to use. If you go through place community resources like Icy Veins, for example, each of their classes is now starting to say, right, this is probably your best legendary. So there's an element of favoritism towards some legendaries for some classes, and people have put together some sort of spreadsheet for that already. My honest opinion is just like pick a couple, pick 2, maybe 3 item slots, I don't know, chest, helm, pants, something like that, and just go with those. You're never going to not sell these base legendary items, let me put it that way. It's just a case of you could possibly run into more competition on one item than you would on another. I don't know. Overall, I think it will balance itself out, though. I don't think there needs to be too much concern. Keep forgetting I'm logged into my main account. At least I can have a conversation with yourself. Well, sometimes that's the best way to get a good conversation, to have it with yourself. I have some of my best conversations when I'm by myself. I mean, my wife thinks I'm crazy. My wife just thinks I'm talking to myself in a room. And to some extent, yes, I am slightly crazy. And to some extent, yes, I am talking to myself in a room. But as long as my internet's working, there's a whole bunch of people, at least I hope, that are somewhat listening. Right, let's get these on the go. This should start giving us some, if I remember it right, these should give me some large novice bags, I think. Have you thought what you're going to do with all of your accounts? Refund or keep playing them? Well, I've refunded 6 of my Shadowlands accounts, which means I now have a relatively tasty Blizzard balance. I will keep 2 on to start with. I will keep the 2 that house my main characters and my bank alt. They're the 2 that I have just chosen to keep so far. But I'm in the luxurious position of if I ever want to reactivate those accounts, I've actually got characters max level, or what I currently, obviously, I've got level 50 characters dotted around a whole bunch of different servers. So come the time when I want to expand onto multiple servers, I can do it as long as I can, as long as each one becomes profitable enough to be self-sufficient. I can somewhat expand pretty quickly in the future if I want to, but on a obviously non-multi-boxing method. Already tagged the like button. Good job, good job. You answered this one time already, but I wanted to get some clarification. Is the goal with your crafting to just buy or sell, or to farm, craft and sell? I'm in the position where I have enough gold to just buy and sell. If you don't feel comfortable enough buying all of your materials off the auction house, then you might have to look at doing some farming to sell. The issue with farming your materials to then craft to then sell is that you can never be super competitive within a market doing that, because you're gonna very quickly be constrained on just time. It takes time to farm materials, whereas if you just buy the materials and craft, you can be a lot more reactionary. Which in turn will mean that you will be able to control markets more effectively. You imagine, for example, if you try and farm up all of the herbs you need to make Darkmoon cards, you are going to be so far behind the rest of the pack that are willing to just buy herbs and spend all day milling instead. That it's what I consider quite a disadvantage. But yeah, if you've got about 800k right now, don't go mental. But I mean, you could probably pick 1-2 professions really comfortably and buy all the materials you ever need for those professions to be what I would consider relatively competitive. I mean, to give you an example, I'm only going to go into Shadowlands with about 2 million gold. Yet I don't plan to do virtually any farming at all. On the flip side though, I do plan to go pretty heavy on as many professions as I can in the first week. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to capitalise very, very quickly in some markets. But I don't know what those markets are. I'm not going to focus on Darkmoon cards. I'm not going to focus on tailoring base legendary items. I'm not going to focus on alchemy potions. I'm just going to try and get all of my professions leveled up as quick as I can, and I'm aware that that in itself is probably going to bite into that 2 million gold pretty quickly, but then I will be able to start crafting. I know exactly what I'm looking for on the auction house in terms of materials. I know exactly what I expect most items to sell for, so I'll be able to very quickly gauge where there's a gap in the market, where I can make a good amount of gold on my server, and just where I find the gap, I will attack it, and I will sit in that gap in the market until I get too much competition, and then I'll move on to something else. That's how I've always made gold, and I didn't, at the beginning of BFA for example, I didn't plan very heavily to get into Darkmoon cards, but after the first few days of selling Darkmoon decks for 200k, I very quickly realised that, well, hang on, this is going to be a big thing, and so I doubled down on it. Is that everything with a seed in? It is, yes. You're going to go with the flow. Yes, exactly. This is the thing that if you focus on one market, if that one market crashes, you've lost everything. If you focus on 3 or 4 different markets, then you can have 1 or 2 of those markets fail on you, yet you're still profitable elsewhere. That's the mentality I try to use. I was going to do inscription and just get on the Darkmoon card train. Entirely possible, but like I said, if you only plan to focus on one thing, if that one thing ends up being too difficult to compete in, have a backup plan. That's all I'm saying. Even with 800k, you can start small and reinvest everything you gain back into the professions and scale up pretty quickly. Not saying it's not going to be painful to spend that initial capital, but you're going to get it back pretty quickly. Well, this is the thought process. It's like I suggest going into Shadowlands with as much gold as you can get your hands on, for obvious reasons. But of course, there's the high probability that if you spend the first couple of days of the expansion leveling your main character, maybe getting his couple of or their couple of professions up and running pretty quickly, any gold that you have to spend firstly leveling the profession and then starting to craft things, if you're crafting the right things, then there's a high likelihood that the turnaround is going to be very quick. You're going to sell those hopefully the very same day, meaning that if you want to then take the gold that you made by crafting those first things and reinvest, you can do, of which will eventually mean that it doesn't really cost you too much in the short term. But like I said, to do that, you've got to be pretty active in what you're doing. What is it I'm doing right now? I'm just farming up some materials right now. On the beta, we get nice little conveniences like free honor points to buy gear, and we get like max renowned when you create a new character. What Blizzard haven't done though is they've never implemented a material vendor, which has meant that, I'm not even sure some of you realise this, that each and every profession that I've leveled up, I've farmed the materials for it myself. Now admittedly, I found this way to farm materials at a faster rate than actually going out into the world and farming, but I've still had to gather all of the materials, all of my profession leveling and things before, and I'm just low on stock of materials is the simple answer. What this is though, this is the Queen's Conservatory. The Queen's Conservatory is the Night Fae Covenant like mini game. Each Covenant has a little mini game. The Queen's Conservatory is the Night Fae one. In here you get the ability to, well, when you go around the world, you do your world quest, you do your dungeons, that sort of stuff. You pick up some spirits, which are these things. Divineful, Prideful Spirit. There's different types and different qualities of them, but in fundamental terms, you gain these spirits and then you put them in these wild seeds of regrowth to basically rejuvenate that spirit. And when you bring that spirit back to life, he rewards you with a little goodie bag, and in those goodie bags there's usually materials. Now, the cheat mode that I have enabled on the beta is that I don't have to wait the duration of time that these usually take to regrow. You'll see here that this has an incubation time of 7 days. You would normally have to wait a week for this to regrow and to get your little goodie bag. I can do it instantly on the beta, as you know, testing and all that, which means I can gain a whole bunch of these bags really quickly, and in turn open all of these bags and get all the materials. But they're all done, they're all done.
I listen to the wind. Good hunting.
Going completely off topic, hope your dinner was great last night. It was very good, thank you. Yes, very good. We made a specific trip to what we consider the best sushi restaurant in Helsinki. And yeah, it was very, very good. Thank you very much. Unafable, good morning to you, welcome, welcome. A top level VOD watcher, I'll let everybody know. I hope you're enjoying the content, even if you don't get to catch it live. I do see your comments. Good idea, I have my wife's account, so I could probably use her account when she isn't playing. I wouldn't necessarily, I know it's your wife and I'm sure it's completely acceptable from a moral point of view, but I wouldn't advertise account sharing too heavily on the internet. Samadan and Lazy Goalmaker are good resources. For TSM, yes, definitely. Once the game actually comes out, I might get my ass into gear and do a proper TSM guide. Because, well, two reasons. One, everybody asks me how do you use TSM, and two, it's a nice way to introduce new people on the channel. I stayed up all night to get that feedback from Manthieus. Follow me on Twitter, my man. It's much easier and if you have a specific question, it's often much simpler to just tweet at me, because I mean, I might regret saying this long term. If the channel gets to a reasonable size, I will probably very much regret saying this. But if you my DMs are open on Twitter, you can always just DM me. And on top of that, even if you just like at me on Twitter, it will ping my phone until I get too many pings, and then I turn it off. So I can answer questions pretty quickly and easily that way. YouTube comments are good, but YouTube comments can often very quickly get buried. I do my very best to go through all of my YouTube comments, as I'm fortunate that my channel is not popping so much that it's just unmanageable. It's still at a manageable state, so I do try and look at my YouTube comments as much as possible. But in a method of shameless pluggery, add me on Twitter. At Manthieus, twitter.com/Manthieus. My wife was asking me why I was talking back to you yesterday if it wasn't live. I do try and go through the comments. Did you record your dinner so that we can watch it? No, I didn't, no. My wife has a relatively strict no camera, you can fuck off with that camera kind of policy. So don't expect much in terms of IRL streams. Been getting into it hardcore with custom prices and the likes. Lazy Goalmaker's been really helpful. Yeah, he knows his way around TSM pretty well. I've been staying up till 3 AM, but for different reasons. Not all reasons I think we probably want to know, but sure. So we will never witness you and your wife eating on stream. Never say never, but quite unlikely. Unless of course I make an OnlyFans, and then we might do it on there. $25 a month, just saying. I really like the live stream Q&A, but if it'll help, I'll shoot you some questions on anything you want. I usually try to ask you. Of course, if I'm live, then yeah, sure, just pop into the stream. That's the best method. But of course, I only stream for like a few hours a day, so I understand it's not always convenient to watch the stream. Thanks for the timely blacksmithing deep dive. Hey, it was close, you know. That with the amount of changes that came into the professions yesterday, luckily the changes for blacksmithing at least were mostly just material rebalancing. Ironically, I even said in my blacksmithing deep dive that the lace strike ore cost of the ceremonious gear is likely to go up. And what did they do the very next day? They increased the lace strike cost of the ceremonious gear. So, I mean, I literally called it. Hey, I found Prop Paladin a better healer than a Holy. What? Level 45 plus Blessed Hammer talent, level 15 and Legendary, who gives a chance to cast WOG with 1 less Holy Power. I was healing 5k at 32k on a heroic. Lots of words about Paladins there that I somewhat understand, but I'm sure people in the chat will... Yes, it's very much safe to say that a prop paladin is unlikely, or it's unlikely a prop paladin should be doing more healing than a holy paladin, but crazy things are happening right now. Is this like farming in Mr. Pandaria? I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, you won't be able to do it at any level of the pace that I'm doing it right now. Once the game goes live, every time you plant one of these seeds, it should theoretically take you 7 days for it to regrow. I'm in the lucky position that because it's beta, I don't have to wait 7 days. I get them instantly. So yeah, it's not going to be quite like this on live. Gonna go back, watch the VOD later. This is the TLDR of profession changes. Lessons have likely been a killer lately. That's something I might do today. I don't actually have a video planned for today, so I might, in a small period of time, do a redo of my profession, like best profession for Shadowlands video. Because I did that a couple of months ago now, and there are definitely a couple of subtle changes that I would make to my tier list. I'm not a big fan of recycling content, but I think it's justified because enough stuff has changed now that it might be worthwhile doing it. And also, it's kind of frustrating that that video is still gaining quite a large amount of views on a daily basis, and I don't really want to. I don't want to feel as if I'm misinforming people. I saw an old VOD of you going over the Queen's repository. Have there been any changes? Queen's Conservatory, but yeah. There have been some subtle changes to what comes out of these bags. The way you go about getting the spirits is basically you can get them from world quests, you can get them just to randomly drop when you kill rares, you can get them to your callings with your covenant, have the chance of giving you the spirits. How you go about getting the catalysts is still the same. At face value, to most people, nothing here has changed. The only difference is in the loot table for some of the bags that you can get, or satchels. I should probably call them by their actual name. What you get out of the satchels does appear to have changed. They've been tweaking and playing around with the loot tables. Now, of course, most people wouldn't even notice that, but I've been pretty religiously tracking what I get out of these. So I'm aware that changes has been made, but better they think it's a recycle instead of, oh, that guy on YouTube didn't tell us about this when Shadowlands hits. Yeah, that's kind of my thought process. Like I said, I'm not a super fan of recycling content. But what's going on here? I was going to say I'm missing a bag, but there's enough things have changed. One of the main things is that I pretty highly rated enchanting in my original tier list. And that was before I really took a good look at enchanting. That was based on just my quick look of enchanting. Now that I've done a really good look of enchanting, I've very much realised that it's a very different story. And I was really hoping, though, I was kind of waiting in hope that they would change enchanting. But by this point, I worry that it's not going to change before it goes live. So enchanting is basically worthless. It's not looking good. That's all I'll say. It's not looking good. I mean, it even had a few tweaks to the amount of materials required to make certain enchants yesterday. They also took the enchanted Elysium bar recipe off a rep grind. So it's almost like they've looked at enchanting and they've done their like balancing pass on enchanting, and I imagine they are likely to say, right, well, now it's done. I don't think they'd have done a balancing pass on it if they were then only going to make dramatic changes to how the profession works. So unfortunately, I have the opinion now that enchanting is probably just DOA. Changed but didn't fix. Yes, that's a good way of explaining it, yeah. The enchanted leather and the enchanted bars and the enchanted cloth, yes, they're all going to sell well. And actually, they've had their materials tweaked as well to make those three elements more profitable. But outside of those three, 3 patterns for enchanting. The enchants themselves are not going to make anybody any gold. The value of the enchants is just going to crash so quickly. There's going to be way more of a supply of materials for enchanting mats than there will be demand for the enchants, and that's the problem. The only way they can make that change is if they make one of the materials harder to acquire. Namely, how it's always been, the crystal at the top, you can only get that from disenchanting epic items. Which, yes, poses an issue at the beginning of an expansion because there aren't any epic items to disenchant. And any that you do get, you tend to wear them, not disenchant them. So my fix to that was just give alchemy the ability to transmute into the crystals. But the likelihood of Blizzard even hearing my calling on that is very slim. So I've had an enchanter blacksmith main for 12 years. At least they finally get to cooperate. Well, that is true. That is true. At least your blacksmith is now somewhat self-sufficient by being an enchanter as well. But the gear being dropped should make the materials harder to get. In theory, apart from the fact you can craft green items, disenchant them for dust, turn the dust into shards, and turn the shards into crystals, all of a sudden all the materials are as readily available as they need to be again. That's the problem. But yeah, sure, there's less gear to drop, but you can craft gear. You can very cheaply and very effectively craft BOE green items to disenchant for materials, and when the dust you get from those BOEs can be turned into shards, and those shards can then be turned into crystals, the entire system falls flat very quickly. I'm surprised there are no bind-on pickup materials from dungeons. Well, here's a hot take. I have a suspicion. It's only a suspicion, but it's still a suspicion. I think they might put the Arboreal Shard as an end dungeon boss drop. As that then gives people 2 ways to gain it. Yesterday they dropped the price of the Arboreal Shard. They dropped it down from 1,000 gold to 125 gold, which puts it in line to be a material that is also farmable. Now, of course, if you farm a bunch from your dungeons, you can use those, and any that you are then missing, you can purchase them from the vendor if you need, but they're going to be 125 gold each on the vendor. That is something that I wouldn't be surprised to see. And in all honesty, I wouldn't mind to see that either. Because that then means that people that are actively playing the game have a slight advantage over just having a level 60 alt that crafts base legendary items that you don't really play. It sort of gives you a reason to play that character, and for that character to then be able to, kind of use their professions, make a bit of extra gold. I don't see any issue with that. It depends on how strict they are. If they make it like a Mythic Plus only thing, then that's a bit harsh. But maybe make it Heroic Dungeons. Heroic Dungeon end boss has the chance to drop an Arboreal Shard. I wouldn't mind that being a change. Overall, I think that would be acceptable. Fluxes 5 gold, 4 with discount in your capital. Yes, most of the vendor materials are going to be subject to faction discount as well. So what have I got here? Novice stuffed bags. How many of them did I get? This looks like about 40. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, 40. We'll open these up and we'll see exactly what we get from them. Just making sure I've not got any other materials in my bags. Nope. Okay. Let's do a little bit of an opening. Holy shit, did you see that? We got 100 desolate leather. 100 desolate leather from one bag. Oh dear. And doing that hydrocorn farm again, that was painful. I'm not saying entirely move it to just a dungeon drop. I'm saying keep it on the vendor, but also allow it to drop from like end boss in a dungeon. So that if you do run dungeons, there is a way to farm them. And it's basically like the end dungeon dropping you an item that's worth 125 gold. The leather must be a bug 100%. I'm starting to feel that. I mean, look at the other materials we got. We got 16 shrouded cloth, 8 pieces of herbs, 20 bones, but 100 desolate leather. Relax though. You theoretically will only get one of these bags a week. One a week. Relax. It's not the end of the world. I've only got 40 because I can cheat the game right now. Oh my god, we're going to end up with so much leather. But 10,000 players getting one a week. True that. My first take on Lego balancing is that they're now slightly cheaper to make. I think they've... On average, they are slightly more expensive than what they were. But we'll do a comparison today. Once I can actually run some proper numbers, we'll do some comparison. It's fake leather. It's fake leather. Oh my god. You know what we're likely going to be able to do? We might be able to craft some base leather items instead. Wow, you're still doing beta stuff. Time is running short on finishing any last minute stuff, preparing mains, alts for Shadowlands, goal making, etc. I've pretty much done all of that. I've been done with live for the longest of time right now. Where were the satchels from? The Queen's Conservatory. I have to emphasize again that you only are likely going to get 1 or 2 of these a week. You're not going to get 40 of them like I've just done. One bag a week or skin 10 mobs with max skinning. Well, this is it. Like, I can skin a mob and I can get between 8 and 11 pieces of desolate leather just by skinning one mob. So I do somewhat feel that they've increased the skinning drop rates and tweaked the leatherworking patterns in a fashion that is yeah, this is this is way too much. Look at those. That's crazy. Right, just for the... How many leather did we get then? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 1,400 leather we got there. Have I maxed the garden out? Yes. But yeah, this is absolutely a bug. I've reported this already. Don't worry yourself. But they were what were they? Journeyman stuffed satchely doodahs. Let me journeyman stuffed satchel. This one. I've only opened 20 of those before. Really? They were definitely journeyman stuffed satchels, right? I thought the journeyman stuffed satchel required... maybe it was. The overflowing is 3. This is 1. They should have only been journeyman large satchels. Oh, boys and girls, they've changed a lot more about that place than I thought they have, you know. They've changed how many bags there are and what is in the bags. Huh. Okay. Right. I need to grab these. This spreadsheet is very quickly becoming entirely useless. I need to copy that actually. Paste that over there. This is old. Let's delete this. We got, how many did we get? We got 40. What did we actually get from them? We got dust, 112. 112. I'm not even sure why I'm recording these results, to be honest. They're way over whack. Death Blossom, 224. Ethereal Meat, 120. Lost Soul, 64. Aura Stone, 176. Leystrite Ore, 176. Pallid Bones, we got, what did we get? 280? Desolate Leather, 1,400. And 96 cloth. We got an average of 35 leather per bag. That's so broken. In my opinion, I would not release any more guides until 1 week before Shadowlands. It's kind of pointless. Yeah, I sort of agree. You did the garden video over a month ago. Wonder if it's worth redoing a guide on it. Well, I deliberately didn't do an in-depth guide on it because I knew it was all going to change. The fundamentals of that video is still the same. That you basically can. That video was basically explaining what the garden is and how you use it. It wasn't going into detail about exactly what you get from it. Yeah, at this point, it's a little bit broken. Just to get, I mean, I know it's difficult to see, but comparing this column to what we've just got now, to this column to what you used to get from these bags, something's definitely changed. Give it 1 or 2 weeks and there'll be an add-on for the garden. The thing is that yes, there probably will, but it's actually not going to be that complex because I've got unlimited choice to what I do in that garden, whereas you're going to be limited by the materials that by the catalysts that you have and by the spirits that you have to what you can do. I don't actually think you're going to get much choice in what you plant in the garden. You're just going to be, well, I've got this amount of catalysts and I've got this many spirits. I'll just plant them. I really don't think there's going to be that much science behind it. The only reason I've collected data on what comes out the bags is simply because I want to know what comes out the bags. As that has helped me structure just how ridiculous some of the material acquisition is. I have a lot of leather kicking about now. That is somewhere in the region of 2,500 leather I have. We always have fun with spreadsheets. Fun with flags with Sheldon Cooper. Were they not novice stuffed satchels? Good point. Were they? I don't know. Am I going to have to watch my own VOD back? That's going to be really weird. Maybe they were. Maybe they weren't journeyman ones. Maybe they were novice ones. Wow, fun with spreadsheets. No, I'm looking to grow a channel, not burn it into the ground. Oh, hot damn. Maybe it was. Maybe they were novice ones. It just shows you what loot you received. It doesn't show what you opened. Sell out. Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. Let me view. This is going to be really weird. Let me turn the sound off. Where were we? We were here. What were we getting? Did I at least at any point hover over one? They do look like novice ones, you know. Novice stuffed satchel. Ah, fuck, I ballsed up. It was a novice one. How do I undo everything I've just done? Brain think. Copy this row. Let's go novice stuffed satchel. Slap that in there. Bingo, bango, bongo. Then go back to the journeyman stuffed satchel. Delete that row. No, don't delete that row. Just copy this and paste it here. And then delete this row. There we go. I've ungoofed my goof. They were novice stuffed satchels. But even still, you can see that the the previous 100 of them that I opened compared to the 40 I just opened. Previously we were getting a lithium ore, which we now don't. We were also getting shaded stone that we now don't. We were also getting nightshade that we now don't. In fairness, we got a lot more desolate leather than we did before. You underestimate how people love spreadsheets. There are some games that are basically spreadsheet simulators. Best Shadowlands X macro for craft optimization. That's a scorcher of a video title. That is a banger. That is guaranteed to do at least 500 views. Absolute banger. Next reset's when the event will happen. Yes, correct, yeah. Yeah, the next reset, so what is it, like 10th, 11th, 12th, something like that? Next week. But this leaves me to believe I need to also move this into the old section. Because if I keep it in with these, it's going to screw with my... It's going to screw with how the spreadsheet works. We should put some zeros in here as well. Not that you need zeros, but just because it looks nice, you know. The reason I keep track of all of this is because Blizzard don't tell us when they change things. And if you have data about what you've done in the past, then when they do change something, it's much easier to spot. Okay, so... Right, let's title this old. So this now won't have any effect on how the spreadsheet works. This is just a sum of these still. Value per bag, yeah, that's all fine, we're good. We're all good, we're all good. You know what the sad thing is we still probably don't have enough lightless silk to even craft the legendaries we need. The reason I was trying to open those bags specifically was because I was hoping they were going to be stuffed full of lightless silk. Yeah, that's not a thing. Blizzard doesn't tell us when they change things. Blasphemy. Yeah. Noob question, in case I want to drop one of my main professions, the books for storing professions with all the recipes still exist. Only for the profession, only for that expansion's professions. So, for example, if you are maxed in leatherworking and you have leatherworking maxed for every expansion ever, and you drop leatherworking, when you use the book, you will only learn the patterns that you knew from that expansion. Or Mage, Legion and BFA only. Oh, okay. Well, there's some limitation to it. Just be very careful. Those books are not like... They're not time machines for professions, unfortunately. Which is why I still just don't use them. Who am I sending this to? Dayat. Have some of this. Yeah, go. Right, let's check our tailor. Let's see if we can break down the legendary situation any further. Yeah, I've not got anywhere near enough lightless silk again. White Hatted, good morning to you. Hello and goodbye by the sounds of things. Have fun at work. Enjoy work. If you don't enjoy it, you'll drive yourself crazy. Got 11 lightless silk. We need like 30 of it or something ridiculous. I guess I'm going to check the... I think I'm going to go and check the auction house. I probably shouldn't have announced that's exactly what I'm going to do, but yeah. This is my daily calling for anybody that has beta access. If you so happen to have a bunch of lightless silk or shrouded cloth, I will absolutely take it off your hands for the purpose of testing. Please and thank you in advance. Does Shadowlands have a scrapper equivalent? No, there's nothing like that, unfortunately. And you may be surprised why I use the phrase unfortunately. But overall, having something like Expulsum, or what was it in the expansion before, Obliterum, does provide some good economical benefits. Even if it's a frustration to some players. The fact that what is this? Why are people posting it for like 200,000 gold? I'm not going to... In the VOD from a month ago, you were going to try and see how long it took you to get a garden through going through the Threads of Fate, but you didn't go through with it in the video. Any feedback on that? Yeah, the main problem is that character is completely balked on the server. Every time I try and log into that character, it insta-DCs me. So I wasn't able to continue playing on that character. Simple as, really. Realistically, though, the amount of anima that you're going to need to farm it, I think I worked it out to be something like 21,000 anima to get the garden maxed out. And at the basic rate of about 350 anima per world quest, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. / banned for creating useful content. Yeah, obviously. Obviously. Is Crafter's Mark II profession specific? As in, can I only use the blacksmithing one for blacksmithing? They're not profession specific, but Crafter's Mark 2s are bind on pickup once you craft them. So they're arguably character specific. But if you have 2 professions that can make them, obviously make them with whichever profession is cheaper. Is my advice. Made a spreadsheet for the pre-event rare item drop. 19 total rares that can drop the following: 40 pieces of gear, 10 different weapons, 5 different rings, 1 neck, 1 trinket. Ah, that's interesting. In other words, keep making those inscription trinkets and sell, sell, sell. There we go. Hot tip of the day, boys and girls. Keep banging out your highborn trinkets with inscription. Yeah, that's good to know. That's good to know. I love how it's going to give a neck. I wonder. I mean, that's probably because there are going to be alts that haven't even got their Azerite neck. So getting a neck to go into Shadowlands with might be beneficial for some. But the fact that there's only 1 trinket, that's interesting. So yeah, scribes rejoice. Scribes rejoice. They want us to get rid of our necks. Yeah, there's interestingly, I found yesterday one of the very first quests to go into Torghast rewards you with a rare neck piece. So once you ding 60, if you're still using your BFA legendary neck, Azerite neck piece, that will be the time in where you change it. If you've got your Azerite neck to like 80 plus, you will probably still be wearing it at 60. That's the stupid thing. Just because, I mean, it's got boatloads of secondary stats on. And when you go into an expansion and that's the thing that you usually struggle with. You usually go from having like 30-40% crit rating down to like 10. So 96. Get out of here. Ridiculous. How do I get more lightless silk quickly? Going out and farming it is just dumb. I need to craft 1 more of these to unlock rank 2. And I've only got 4 enchanted lightless silk. And I need 19 of them. My main toon got to 92, gave up pushing it. I don't think there's any reason to, is there? I think if you just continue to play that character, it's just slowly going to increase anyway. I bet there's people out there with 100 plus though. Is there even a cap to it? I don't know. Genuinely don't know. My current alt and future main is 87. Well, that's sad. That means your alt has more than my main does. So, that's sad for me, by the way. That's not me throwing shade. I'm almost tempted to look at what it's gonna. Okay, well, we're gonna have to get into spreadsheet mode at least a little bit. Where's our? I did say this is a spreadsheet stream. And I gave people the heads up that it's a spreadsheet stream in the title, so you can't say I didn't warn you. I think before I want to attack this, I might go grab a drink though, because my coffee's getting cold. Screw it. Let's just get cracking. How am I going to do this then? How am I going to retailer this? Retailer it. How am I going to redesign this so that it still works fine? I think material price list needs to go on the left. I suppose we need to duplicate this. We'll just rename this to, if it will let me, new cloth Legos. This is what we'll play with. I'm duplicating it rather than editing the original, just so that we can then get a comparison side by side. This is now wrong. This is now you need 15 rank 1s to unlock 2. Creating question mark rank 2s will unlock rank 3. Creating question mark rank 3s will unlock rank 4. We don't know those. First thing, shard cost. Well, faction discount applies on this, but yes, 125. So I think we're going to need to break it down. Are there any common 45, 45, 45, 45? So there is some similarities. So I, in theory, don't need to break it down into each and every single one. 45 and 25 and 10. 45, 25, 10. So belt. Let's do the cheaper ones first then. So we're going to have to group them up at least in some part. Going to hit Reddit, see if anybody's already ranked up Legos. If you can find out said information, I would happily I would happily take that information off you. I'm still going to do my very best. I struggle to believe things until I see it with my own eyes, but it would be helpful at least to temporarily have something to work on. So we've got the cheapest ones are going to be braces. Braces. Cape. Cape is going to be a big one because everybody can wear this. This is not restricted to just cloth wearers. Braces, cape are both at 34 and 19. Is there any more at 34 and 19? No. So braces and cape are the cheap ones. We then have, what goes up from there? We have belt at 45. Belt. I'm just jotting down some notes so I can get this right first time. Belt. Mittens. And we're going to call those gloves. Who the fuck calls them mittens? Belt, gloves. Boots. And shoulders. All are in the same category at 45 and 25. And then we're looking at the most expensive stuff, which is going to be whatever's left. So the helm. Helm. I'm using generic slot terms rather than like hood. Helm. Pants. Or trousers, if you want to be from the United Kingdom. Chest. And that's all of them, right? So that's, yeah, okay, so we've only got 3 different categories instead of just 1 now. My mittens have a piece of string tying them together so I don't lose them. Ah, how does it feel to be 3 again? Just put together what classes want what legendaries and who crafts them from the Wowhead post. Oh, nice one. And yes, I did seriously just say 15 for the first. You can see that you get 5 experience for crafting each rank 1 now. But you require 75 to unlock rank 2. So that's 15 crafts. So I guess we can now just... I guess it's just a case of duplicating or triplicating, if that's even a word, this section here. So we can basically say that if we move the price list we copy this, or if we don't copy it, we do Excel stuff and we actually move it. Let's move the price list over this way. So the price list will be the first thing. These are going to be, this information here actually is going to then be relevant to each craft specifically. Let's move these back. Let's move these back over here now. Oh, move that section there. Now we can say that, well, this section is going to be we actually do want to move this down too, I think. So this can be braces, and braces and cape. Let's, I don't know, make it bold, make it look pretty. There we go. Braces and cape. So we can say that, right, well, what was it? It was 34, 19, and 8. 34, 19, and 8 for the rank 1s. This is a 10x crafting price. This needs to change. The formula for this needs to change to 15 because we now know we need to make 15 of them. This should still be the same. This is just the sum of these 3. This is probably going to change. Oh, single cost price. No, that's fine. So that will still work. DM'd you a list of how many BIS legendaries are crafted in different slots for all professions on Twitter. Nice one, nice one. I'll check that out in a little bit. I should also probably then change the title of this to be 15 because we know that to be true. This is still correct, but this is information we probably want down here now. We probably, what the fuck is this number here? Oh, that's times 8. That should be times 9. That number doesn't actually need to be a thing anymore. The total to rank 4 can also just go here. We still need to work out the rank 2 and the rank 3 and then the rank 4 prices. We can put the prices in, we just don't know how many we're going to have to craft yet. Guys, check this guy's spreadsheet. Pretty cool for Lego crafting. Just found it on Reddit. Manthieus 1 month ago. Yo, you'll want a spreadsheet. A Shadowlands cheat sheet. God, you're finding my own posts. Enchanted silk price should be double. Yes, you're true. These are basically for you to put your whatever it costs you to make it. But in theory, yes, I still believe shrouded cloth is going to cost roughly the same. Enchanted silk is likely going to be double. Let's just say it's 100 for each of those. Ignore rank 2 and rank 3 yet because I haven't changed those, but at least on a rank 1 basis, a single item is now likely to cost you 3,580 gold each, whereas before it was 4,250 gold. So although they've reduced the price, they've increased the amount of them that you need to craft. Because of course, to get to rank 2, it's going to cost you 42,000 previously, whereas now to get to rank 2, it could potentially cost you 53,000. So they have like, at least at this point, I know we've not got very far, but at this point they have upped the price. Yeah, they have upped the price by 20% roughly. Assuming this is all still, that's the cost for 15, and then that's just the sum of that. So yeah, that all still works out fine, I think. That is still this by this. This is, no, I'm just checking my formulas are all correct before I. Still 1,000 in there. No, of course, yeah, that's my point. This is what it was previously. This is old. This is old. This is what it was before they changed it. And now, of course, it was 1,000 gold before. It is now only 125 each. So this is why I've made two different sheets. One to see how it was before, so we can make a comparison, and then what it now has changed to. So what we need now is to find out the material cost, or the quantity of materials needed for rank 2, 3 and 4, so we can at least get that information there. 8 times 125 is 1,000. That's why it still says 1,000. Yeah, it still says 1,000 here because you now need 8 of them to craft a single one. But they've been reduced down to 125. Yeah. Don't worry, the spreadsheet does the maths. I'm not doing any maths here. The only thing I change is these 3 figures here. As long as these 3 figures are right, we're good. And the fact that that doesn't have a capital S is annoying me. Yeah, I can't believe I'm trying to do this before my coffee's properly kicked in. But you know, so let's take a look on Wowhead. Let's look at the Grim Veiled cape. Items. That's one of the items. We also want created by. This is what we need. So starts off using 34. We're going to 34, then it goes up to 53, then it goes up to 83, and then finally it's 131. I'm going to put this just off right, we're gonna do some wizardry here. Watch this for some wizardry. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking. You like that, huh? Although you can't see that. Whatever. There you go. Boom. Wizardry. Skills to pay the bills. So we got rank 2. Is now rank 2 appears to be 53 shrouded cloth, whilst also using 30 enchanted lightless, and it also then uses 11 arboreal shards. Single craft prices is this by this, this by this, by this, this by this, and this by this, which is still correct. This column is incorrect right now because it's multiplying it by 5. At this point, we don't know how many this is going to be wrong for now. I really don't like Reddit. It's so hard to find useful stuff. You can find a bunch of useless stuff, but actually finding something useful is very hard. Yeah, Reddit is incredibly bad for like finding old things that you might want to read. Like, yeah, I agree. Didn't you have a video on how to craft base legendary items? I can't find it. I don't actually think I did. I don't think I ever made a video specifically about how to craft the base legendary items. There's probably a gap in my market there. I probably didn't do it because at the time there was about 20 different people that had done one. But yeah, each of my deep dive videos. Oh well, I did have a video. I'll show you. There's. Oh my god, we're going back to some time now. Which one is it? I'll recognise the thumbnail when I see it. It was this one, crafting base Legos. Legendary gear just got better. This, in fairness, it was a lazy video. It was just stream footage with a 30-second intro. But this is before the this was before we had the character wipe, and I had a bunch of spare materials, so I crafted a whole bunch of tailoring ones. This is how I worked out that they changed it from 10 crafts to 5 crafts. I'm trying to now do that again because they've changed things. But this, well, if you want to watch that one, yeah, sure, watch it. But yeah, crafting base Legos, legendary gear just got better. That was the title of the video. Let's change rank 3 then. Rank 3 is... This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So rank 3 has gone to 83. Enchanted Lightless goes all the way up to 79. No, 49. Relax. Relax, 49. And then 19 shards. Holy Jesus. So each one is then costing... The price of a single craft seems to be similar to what it was before. Let's do rank 4 while we're here. Rank 4 is 131 cloth. That's a real random number. These numbers scare me, you know, because these numbers feel like they've done it with a calculator and there's some equation to it. Nobody in their right mind would choose 131. This is the thing that's concerning me. My concern is they've done this one pass of balance on it, and then they're going to go back and change the numbers again. So I'm slightly concerned doing this now, but you know, so many people use this cheat sheet now. I feel somewhat obliged to try and keep it up to date. 79 of those, and then 30 shards. Holy shit, tacky. Total materials to rank 4. Yeah, they retroactively fixed it after deciding what they wanted, yeah. So let's just do a quick comparison then. Previously it was 4,000, roughly 4,250 for a rank 1, 7,000 for a rank 2, and then 10,000 for a rank 3. So 4, 7, 10, 15. Basically 4, slightly less, slightly less, slightly less. So each one is costing slightly less. I reckon it's going to be 15.55 still. 15.55 would actually still equate to be a similar cost to get to rank 4. Yeah, I reckon that's going to be the case. I'm really hoping that it's 15.55. Now I can't prove that yet, but that's what I'm hoping it will be. That, like, putting more emphasis on crafting more of the entry level ones is fine. If it goes to like 15, 10, 5, it wouldn't be the end of the world. It would then be 25k more than what this is. That wouldn't be too bad. Let's just check that these are correct still. What's this? on, F12 times by 10. That's going to be by 15. And that's also going to be by 15. Think that works. Think that works. Now the problem is I don't want to copy and paste this for multiple of them until I know what these are. I don't want to copy and paste stuff that's wrong, because then I only have to change what's wrong 4 times. It really could do with knowing how many rank 2s we're going to have to craft. And I don't like there's all this dead space here. Maybe I'll let me full screen this for a second, so I see how it looks for normal people. Searching but sorry, no luck. Yeah, no worries. I didn't expect there to actually be. Then I can have the 4. What? It's only 3 different sections, isn't it? So I can sort of at least possibly copy that, paste that there, paste that there. This will be belt. I'm going to do it in caps. Do it all in caps. Belt. What did I say? Gloves. Oh, Jesus. It's very difficult to type when I've got a microphone in front of me. Boots. And shoulders. Oops. And then this one is finally going to be helm, pants, and chest. Right, the microphone is the problem. Shut up. Of course it's the microphone that's the problem. Right, we've got some weird scaling on the go here. We don't need everything to be quite so, but yeah, whatever. This now doesn't need to be that big. So braces and cape. Oh, hot diggity! No, we don't want it to go that far. Let's go that far. Sure, whatever. People can scale it however the hell they want. You should add cells with a multiplier for crafting ranks and then calculate with those. Then you don't have to change all the formulas each time they change something. You should add cells with the multiplier. I think I have. You should add cells with the multiplier. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, I suppose I probably should. Yeah, that would probably have been more sensible. I agree with you on that one. Just multiply by it, yeah. Is there a quick way to implement that? Oh, actually, all of these are now foobarred because they're linking to wrong places. Because I've done it by, oh, fuck a duck. Because it's Google Sheets rather than Excel, so I can't. Does anybody know if in Google Sheets you can name a cell so that you can link to that cell rather than it being actual coordinated cells? I'm not a whiz in Excel, but like this cell, for example, I would want to call this cloth, rather than C10. I would want C10. I would want to just go exclamation mark cloth, and it would link to what is in this cell. Can you actually name cells in Google Sheets? Define named range. Is that what I'm looking for? Because you can link between sheets by going exclamation. Google it. Yeah, I probably should. $C, $10. Will that then mean if I okay, I think that might be the answer I'm looking for. So here, for example, where we've got C18 by C10 is this number by this number. Means it will always reference C10 even if you copy paste it. Nice. That's what I wanted. So we go, where's the dollar symbol? $C, $18. Is that how we do it? If you always want to reference that. So in fact, no, that doesn't want to be hard fixed. It's this one that wants to be hard. We always want to reference C10. So we go dollar there and we go, oh shit, the bed. Ah, fuck off, game. Now I've completely $C, $10, right? See, this is why the advantage of doing it on stream is so great. Let's change these ones. What was the dollar symbol again? Shift 4. $C, $11. Told you it was going to be a spreadsheet stream. I did pre-warn people. That should always link to... No, that's dynamic. That needs to be dynamic. That needs to... Anything that links to these is where I need to always specify it to be this, even if I change something. So that's right. That's okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. This is going to be exponentially more helpful to me when it comes to crafting redoing the other sheets as well. What are these then? What is this actually linking? These are the mats per. That's fine. That'll somewhat change itself. That's fine. These are just adding 3 numbers together. It's fine. Right. Glad it's a spreadsheet stream. Partner is at work also, so I can't spread her on the sheets. Oh dear. Oh dear. Now if I copy this business from here to here and then also to here. Bingo, bango, bongo, boys and girls. Yes, love it. Love it. Geek sexy talk. Right. Righty. Is there anything else that's going to be completely ballsed up by me copying and pasting that? I don't think there is. I think that should fix itself now. Right, let's do the belt. Grim Still got caps lock on. Grim-veiled belt. We go 45 to 70, 110, okay. 45 and 25 and 10. Rank 2 is 70, 40 and 15. Rank 3 is 110, 65 and 25. And then finally we have rank 4, which is 175, 105 and 40. That now is over. That is an entire stack of lightless silk. Is more than an entire stack of lightless silk is going to be needed to craft a rank 4. Boom. Oh God, how have we turned spreadsheets into something rude? Unbelievable, you guys. Okay, so now these should all work fine. Let's just do a double check, because you know double checking is good. That's linking to the price of the material that we specified over there. And it's multiplying it by this, which is 45. This is crafts time 15. Okay, sure. You try making sexy talk referencing spreadsheets. There is nobody on this planet that should ever need to be in that situation. Absolutely not a thing. And then finally, we can go with the helm. What do you mean, no exact matches? Is it not called helm? It's probably not, is it? Hood? Yes, there we go. Nice, so we got 56, 31 and 13. We then have talk macros to me. My column always has the correct oh my God. You guys are horrendous. Rank 2, 88, 50 and 19. Rank 3 becomes 138, 81, 31. These numbers are so random, yo. These numbers are so random. $219 shrouded cloth to make a single rank 4. With 131 enchanted lightless silk and 50 arboreal shards. These numbers are so wackadoodle. That's 200,000 gold just to get this up to rank 4. And then each rank 4 is going to cost you 23,000 gold to craft it. That's a madness. Right. Now, before we go much further, before we repeat the process for any other of the professions, we need to try and at least somewhat work out whether it's 15, 5 and 5 or whether they've changed the rank 2 crafts and the rank 3 crafts as well. But at least for the most part, I think the tailoring sheet. Oh, hang on, why is that? Oh, no, we don't need it to be ridiculously big. I think the tailoring sheet is maybe done. Why is that going? Why is this so unnecessarily long? That's what she said. Even I'm doing the bad jokes now. What's going on in this cell that's making it so... Dunno. You need rank 4 for the higher level legendaries. Yes, yes. Yes, you do. The title of the cell, though, is... I've merged these, so it shouldn't make that craziness. But anyway, there we go. We can somewhat, at least, almost in one screen, well, I can at least see in one screen, all the different potential options and crafting costs for the base legendaries relating to tailoring. Let's just do a grand total. So if you were to rank everything up to rank 4, what are we looking at? We're looking at two times this cell added to... There's probably a much better Excel way to do this, but 1, 2, 3, 4 times the value of this cell. Add that to 3 times, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different slots, 4 times the value, 3 times the value of this cell. You ready for this? Boom! 1.5 million to get tailoring maxed out. 1.5 million, and that's assuming that it's 15, 5, and 5. There is the possibility that it's more than 5 rank 2s and more than 5 rank 3s. Wonder how many people are going to incrementally upgrade their legendaries 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and then instead of just getting a rank 1 and then saving the gold spent on 2 and 3 and hopping straight to 4. I think you'll find many people will probably step up 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, at least in the first patch of the expansion. By the time we get to the point where everybody's flooded with Soul Ash and people just want the legendaries, they'll just get the best one. But can you sell a kidney in WoW? Yeah. Yeah. Potentially 1.5 million to max out tailoring based on these prices. Can we... I mean, we can do some other fancy... It's not worth doing any fancy figures yet until we know just how many crafts we are going to need. But so don't take that as gospel. That's just me. That's hyperbolic. Mythic Week is the most important, so top 100 guilds at least will want to have rank 3 Bis Lego when they step into Mythic Castle Nathria. Yes, possibly. Pretty much most specs will have 2 legendaries each. That's likely to be the case. I actually think that it's more likely that top end raiders will want 2 legendaries of as high a rank as they can get them, whether that's 2 rank 2s or one rank 2 and 1 rank 1 or whatever the case may be, because the actual having the legendary power is probably going to be more beneficial than a slight bump to item level and stats on it. When you really start talking about min-maxing. But I'm not a Mythic Raider, not by any stretch of the imagination, so I don't know exactly. But with that in place, I'm not going to do this for any of the other professions yet. In fact, what's the date? The date today is November 6th. What was I saying? Oh yeah, and I should point out that tailoring is going to be the cheap one. Tailoring is definitely the cheap one. Blacksmithing is going to be expensive, and leather workers, you can easily double it. Easily double it. But now I absolutely definitely, at the very least, whoa, what's happened with all of my screens? Where did everything go? I absolutely definitely now need to get a little bit more enchanted silk so I can at least see how many rank 2s we're going to craft. I'm not going to be able to get all the enchanted silk to be able to do, to actually craft them all, but I'll at least unlock some portion of the pie. Why are people do? What's the point? If you've got 4,500 shrouded cloth, what is the point of putting it on for 8,000 gold each? Watching Echo and Limit streamers, they're not going to make their legendaries until the day before Mythic Raids open because of an inevitable post-heroic tuning. Yeah. Our main market though is not Mythic Raiders. You've got to remember our main market is always casuals. Casual players are going to go, ooh, I can make a legendary. I'll make a legendary. What do I need for this legendary? I need a rank 1 base legendary item because the rune carver says I need it. And not to mention, Limit and Echo are likely going to be My dogs are going mad. Echo and Limit are likely to be crafting all of their own legendaries in-house. Why is my dog going mad? Give me a second. It might be the postman. Ooh. Un memento. Said it right that time. Alright, sorry about that. Method's still gonna RMT everything. Ooh, burn. I don't know who corrected you, but yes you did. Right, so fuck the people that post on their shrouded cloth at 8,000 gold. Even more so, fuck all the people that post their lightless silk at 250,000 gold. So I'm going to have to somehow work out how to get more enchanted lightless silk myself. Fine. Fine. Let's send these over to my enchanter so I can make them into enchanted lightless silks. Who is my enchanter? This dude. Who's this guy then? Twimber. Oh, it's... Thanks, I suppose. I mean, I'd prefer if you do that for me on retail. That would make my life a lot easier if you do it on retail. Random person turns up and gives me 600,000 gold. Do you think you can rank something up to rank 3? Well, that's what yeah, this is the problem. That I would need to fully work out what it is. I'll keep copying the gold for you. Oh, I see. Right, okay. It doesn't really matter because there's not even enough enchanted silk on the auction house, even if I buy it at 250,000 gold each. Because there's literally only like 70 of it on the auction house. So I appreciate the effort, but it's not necessary. I've probably got enough cloth anyway. It's the enchanted lightless silk that I need. I will acquire it through my own method. I can use the Queen's Conservatory to at least somewhat farm it. And if I use the Queen's Conservatory to farm it, it also gives me a whole stack load of other materials at the same time. So it becomes beneficial from lots of angles. What is the, ever so quickly, what is the cost of the leatherworking ones? What are the leatherworking ones called? Oh Christ, I can't remember what they're called. It's just now that I can basically print desolate leather, I'm wondering if I can abuse that system somehow. Let's just log on to my leatherworker quickly and find out. Who is my leatherworker? The office, I think. Garden time. Yes, a little bit. Yeah, callous hide might be the bottleneck for me. Yeah, callous hide might end up being the bottleneck. I mean, I'm going to have desolate leather literally coming out my ears. I saw somewhere that leatherworking legendaries are rep gated. Nope. Yeah, no. They're level gated. You've got to be 60. They're not rep gated. What's the benefit of having dual crafting with blacksmithing? I just watched the deep dive on blacksmithing, and it only talks about blacksmithing and the benefit of having enchanting for the special bars. Both dual crafting and blacksmiths need Shadowghast ingots to create their base legendary item. Now the blacksmiths create the Shadowghast ingots. And so, of course, if you have a character that can create the Shadowghast ingots on demand for you, it's probably long term. It's probably going to be cheaper for you to do that than it is to buy them off the auction house. So that's my suggestion for having Jawncraft. That's the reasoning behind my suggestion for having Jawncrafting and blacksmithing on the same character. We have special words in Neapolitan for people that post cloth at 250k in each. Hint, it has to do with their dead family. Oh, lovely. Yeah. I've got Desolate Leather by in the truckload, but you've got to remember that if this is basically 30 heavy Desolate Leather is like saying 300 Desolate Leather. So I don't even think with the ridiculous amount of leather that I'm able to obtain right now, I can really, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to make leatherworking legendaries any easier. Right, back to the garden then. Back to the garden. Yeah, I genuinely don't even understand why people post stuff on the beta. But you would at least hope that on the beta, if you are going to post something on the auction house, put it on for coppers, not gold cap. Because at least if you put it on for coppers, somebody that needs it to do some testing can come and get it. You know, that seems common sense to me, but could I just have a level 50 blacksmith for Shadowghast ingots, or is it gated in some fashion? I mean, theoretically you could, yes, but obviously that then requires you to have another character. I'm just saying for the purpose of, if you're going to pair two professions together, Jawncrafting and blacksmithing works nicely. There's no you should do this and you have to do this. It's just a suggestion. Yes, back to the garden for a little while. We'll get some. We'll try and get some of the big juicy bags that contain a bit of everything. It takes slightly longer to get them, but any materials I can get my hands on is going to be beneficial in the next few days. Was never so excited with gardening as I am in this game. Yep. I think I will, it's almost as hot as Spreadsheets. Oh, Jesus. Let's not start that again. Ironically, I've still not actually decided which covenant that I'm going to go with on any of my characters. I think I'm literally just going to go, that one. I don't think I'm going to pick one over another. It's sensible for alts to be Night Fae for the garden, but it depends how much I'm going to play those alts. I would probably, because I'm likely to play on 4 characters at least somewhat regularly, I would like to have one in each covenant, just, you know, so I have one in each covenant. Main character, a raid appropriate covenant. For everything else, there's Night Fae. Sounds like a MasterCard advert, but yeah, I'm with you. Right, so in theory, in fact, what I'm going to do now is I just want to quickly test how you get each of the bags, because I have a sneaky feeling they might have changed something. Night Fae Hunter isn't bad though. Yeah. Night Fae Hunter seems to actually be quite a solid pairing. Realistically, I'm going to go either Night Fae or Necrolord on my hunter. It's a flip of a coin which one though at this point. Hot tip for anyone that wants to build some Mog inventory. BFD, the amount of drops is insane. 30k worth after 10 runs. That's pretty mad. But let's try and work out what's going to be the best way for me to get the biggest, best, most profitable loot bags and do it quickly. So we're going to need a bunch of these. We'll get 20 of the biggest, most fancy ass bags we can get our hands on, which by my past testing is probably going to be the Journeyman's Overflowing Satchel. 1 second. Alrighty, we're back. Wi-Fi road ninja pulled. Yes. Right, yeah, we probably want to create these Journeyman's Overflowing ones, because these, at least in my past experience, give a boatload of everything. But I also think these are a bit of a pain to make. But let's, how do we make a Journeyman's Overflowing Satchel? 3 Night Bloom and 1 Root Grain. 3 Night Bloom. Night Bloom. Night Bloom. And another Night Bloom. And then one of these ones, a Wild Seed. Night Bloom, Night Bloom, Night Bloom, Wild Seed. Okay. And we can put that in there. And that should get us one of those bags by all past testing. Have you crafted an epic BOE? Were you were crafting rares in the video I saw, just interested in the item level of those. There's no BOE epics you can craft. Not to my knowledge. I guess this was asked already, but a lot. Which professions do you plan on getting on your main character? Well, my main hunters forever and a day has always been Journeyman Overflowing Satchel. There we go. My main character's always been a jewel crafter and a leather worker. So they're the two professions I'll focus on. But realistically, I'll do my utmost to level all of the professions as quick as possible. That's my plan. Purple ones, you could craft rares. I'm still confused by what we're talking about. We're talking about professions? Oh, the BOEs from the bags. Oh, they've been... Any additional loot that you get from these satchels now are... they've got the cosmetic tag on them. They originally were BOEs, but they're now cosmetic items only. Oh, hang on, what am I doing? I need to collect the bag. So yes, a sad face on that, unfortunately, that we wanted those weapons for raid. Yeah, unfortunately, this place, like any loot that it drops, is all cosmetic. It's all for the purpose of transmog. There's no power gains to be obtained. It's a sad face, but sure. Man, that's an odd combo for your main. It's an odd combo. It's not as odd as it sounds. I mean, my main is a hunter, so, you know, leatherworking. And jewel crafting, for the longest of time, has always been ridiculously profitable at the start of an expansion, so... yeah. I don't need to farm up materials. You can see now that this weapon that's dropped, for example, has got the cosmetic tag on it.
We will capture our prey.
Do they still give pets and mounts? Yes, that they do though. Yes. If you craft the right ones, you will still get pets and mounts. That's fine, but you can't do that with less than sub 500k. Thanks for the advice, but I would never gather or grind material in WoW. I only play the auction house. Hang on, why is this a different bag? Why did we get a novice overflowing satchel? Did I balls up somewhere? I did. I've created the wrong bag. Derp. I must have forgot to put the wild seed root in it or something. Ah, oh, god damn.
How fares your hunt? Good hunting.
Do you believe that if I will farm a lot of leather for leatherworking and get ahead of some of the recipes, it would be good cut from getting tips from people having, for example, rank 3s at the start of Mythic? I think many people will think like that, and I play on not the biggest server. I mean, if you're ahead of the curve in any way, shape or form, if you're the only person on your server that's got access to a rank 3 and everybody wants it, then yes, you're in a fantastic position. But that's going to be difficult to achieve. Not only to mention that there is virtually no chance anybody is going to get to rank 3, rank 4 without buying some of the materials. Let me put it this way, that anybody that is willing to buy materials will be able to get to rank 3 and rank 4 of their base legendary items considerably quicker than anybody that chooses to farm their materials themselves.
For Queen and Grove.
What's going on now? I didn't put a seed in it. I'm really not paying attention. I'm trying to answer questions, that's the problem. Right, let's just bang some of these out quickly. Let's focus for 5 minutes, because I'm literally here just for one reason, and that's to get as many of these bags as possible. And right now I keep fucking it up.
I listen to the wind.
Yeah, but materials will be limited a bit too. Materials will not be limited. Trust me. At the beginning of an expansion, materials will not be limited. There will always be materials available. There may not always be materials available for a price you want to pay, but there will always be materials available. On any size server. Simply on the basis that the second a material starts to look a little bit rare, 10, 15, 20 people go out and farm it. And then all of a sudden it's not rare anymore. Or they open up their guild bank that's got a whole bunch of it stashed away and they dump it on the auction house. Never, ever, ever will a material be in that situation. And if that situation ever does arise, let me know what server it is, and I'm going to come and make so much gold on that server. Agra, Portuguese for Manthieus. Sure. Okay.
We will capture our prey.
Standing invite for CFO. Oh, I see. No, I'm not looking to be a CFO for anybody. In the real world or in World of Warcraft. That's too much like responsibility. I really hope these bags are like stuffed to the brim of materials, because this is taking a bit longer than I thought it would do to actually get all of these. Oh, I've done the wrong one again. Why do I keep doing this? Or how do I keep doing this? Why does it keep giving me the novice one? I'm probably putting the wrong seeds down somewhere, but that's twice that's happened, and I don't think I've done anything wrong. I'm gonna have to watch that back on the VOD, because I think there might be a bug with this. For me to make the same mistake twice, I mean, I very much might have done, but 3 Wild Nightbloom and 1 Wild Seed should always give the Journeyman Overflowing Satchel. Concentrate. Yeah, I should do. There we go. There's the right one again, look. Now we're getting somewhere. It's also really weird that it gives you 58 reputation. Everything kind of feels like they create something on, and then they just have like a tuning knob, and this we're getting lots of really random numbers, like needing 131 cloth to make a legendary item, for example. It's like, well, where did they get the number 131 from? Somebody definitely didn't turn around and go, oh, well, how much cloth should we use? I reckon we should use 131 cloth. Oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea, we'll do that. It sounds very algorithm-y, sort of equation-y kind of results, you know? Like 58 reputation by opening one of these. Like, why 58? Rep is because of the anniversary buff? Oh, that's possible. That's possible. What if we can this off? Can we get rid of this? No, we can't even turn it off if we want. The rep makes sense. The 131 pieces of cloth to make a legendary, though, that doesn't make sense.
How fares your hunt? Our roots are strong.
So oh, I need more catalysts. The meme that Blizzard just sit in their office just tuning, like just twiddling on little dials is becoming truer and truer. How many have we got here? 8. We're gonna need some more of these as well. Yeah, I get the rep, but I get the rep buff thing now. Okay, that makes sense. But the numbers that they've pulled out of what appears to be a hat for the base legendary items does still feel weird to me. What do we reckon? Do we reckon 20 of these will be enough to give us a whole bunch of lightless silk? Bloody better do. That one's ready to go. Why am I not in?
We will capture our prey. For Queen and
I should be in Fox, in Shadow Fox mode. Times it. Okay. I've not got a huge amount of time to stream today because we're away this weekend. And I want to make sure I've got a nice video for you guys, at least for over the weekend. I have lots of things I want to do and not enough time to do them all. Ironically, most of them involve playing a game, you know, so first world problems, I understand.
we serve the Queen. May you find your quality.
If I do this long enough, I could probably even get exalted with all of the reputations on this character. No, first guy to get exalted with all factions without doing a single quest. There's a Wowhead article for you. World first fully exalted Shadowlands character didn't complete a single quest. Imagine the clickbait I could come up with on that one.
None can hide from the hunt.
And just think, if all you guys had gone out and farmed me some cloth on the beta, then I wouldn't have to be doing this right now. Sorry, that's a bad joke. get in there. What's that? That's 12, right? It's 12. Gladly do it if I had a beta key. I genuinely don't understand why why Blizzard are not giving beta out to more people. I genuinely don't understand it. For the simple fact that beta is dead right now. There's literally nobody on it. And Blizzard are asking anybody that's on the beta to go and do multiple Torghast runs for testing. And there's nobody on the beta. Because everybody they've given a beta key to has got bored of testing everything and is gone to play live again. Or gone to play other games. I wish Blizzard had given me a bunch of beta keys, you know. But unfortunately, Blizzard don't even know who I am, so... Maybe one day. Maybe one day. It's really interesting to think that even somebody as prominent in the World of Warcraft community as Preach, Blizzard didn't even speak to Preach until halfway through Legion. It's like it's only been like in very recent times that Blizzard has even had any indication of supporting content creators. Obviously, they've had dealings with like the top mythic guilds and anybody that does PvP at a high level, but when it came to content creators, they were always virtually silent. I don't know about you guys, but I've watched Preach's videos for, I don't know, it feels like probably close to 10 years now. He's been making World of Warcraft content forever. And it's only been in the last like 2 or 3 years that Blizzard have even approached him to like reach out and say, hey, thanks for what you do and here's some beta keys and this sort of stuff. So, unfortunately, it means I don't have any belief that Blizzard even are aware of my content. Never mind that they take my feedback on board. So, I watched Preach for 1 year before I even started playing. But there we go. That's it. Like he's been banging out the content on the regular for a long time now.
How fares your hunt? Good hunting.
I was checking out your previous videos. I always check out the old videos of people I follow for relevant videos as always. And he has years old videos still relevant today. Yeah, this is the sort of issue with how YouTube works. In terms of YouTube has a strong preference to promote more recent videos. Whereas some of Preach's old videos on like how to choose a raiding guild and this sort of stuff, even though they may be 5-6 years old themselves, they are now just as relevant as they were then in terms of the information that's in them. But you are never going to see them unless you actively go out and search for them. Which is somewhat why I don't hold it against any content creators that recycle content, because it's in the best interest of everybody as long as the information is still good. You see this sometimes, that people will comment on videos like, well, you made this same video 6 months ago, and yeah, well, if it's still going to be useful to somebody, it's not my fault that YouTube doesn't show anybody it. You said in your video about multi-boxing that you shouldn't buy things like the mount drop. I'm lost, but is it not a good time to invest in them to make gold in the future? What I really wanted to emphasize, and the reason I said that was because can you take videos down from YouTube? Oh yeah, of course you can. The emphasis I wanted to put on don't buy these things that have commonly been multi-box is because you just do not know how many of them they have in stock. Just because it looks like it could be a rare item and in theory they're not going to be able to get any more, you don't know how many they already have. I mean, a really, really good example of this is if any of you watched Reckles or Want to Buy Gold's video he did on multi-boxing. I'm not going to comment on the video itself, but watch the first 30 seconds of his video, and you'll understand that people that multi-boxed heavily for a long time have a lot of these rare mounts. Literally guild banks full of them, which means that even for the next 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, they can be constantly selling and constantly listing those mounts. Every time one sells, they list another one on the auction house. They're quote unquote rare. They're rare for 90% of the population, but for those couple of multi-boxes on your server, they've got an entire guild bank full of them. So if you try and buy them out thinking that they're going to double in price all of a sudden, they're unlikely to. That's not to say if you see a gap in the market, hey, and if you've got the thing I try to emphasize with any like buying something to sell it later for more, any investment like that, I always try and emphasize that don't spend more gold on it than you are willing to lose. If you buy a couple of these mounts and their price plummets, can you afford to just basically write that off as a loss? Or are you so desperately in need to get that gold back by selling them? It's up to you, and it's the risk that you have to take. My suggestion is don't be buying commonly multi-boxed items right now, because although there may only be 2 or 3 of them listed on the auction house, there's probably a guild on your server somewhere that's owned by somebody that has 50 of them. So yeah, just be careful.
Foes of the forest, beware.
Is this going to be the 20th bag? I think this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20, right? Yeah, 20. There we go. So there's our 20th bag. Let's hope. Now, let's go back to Oribos. Let's hope when we open these 20 bags, we get flooded with materials and hopefully lightless silk. That's what we really, really need in as big a quantity as possible. Previously, these bags, Journeyman's Overflowing Satchels. Journeyman's Overflowing Satchels. Previously, these dropped 4 lightless silk per bag on average. Now, if that still stays true, we should have gained ourselves about 80 lightless silk by doing that. But let's find out. So let's head over to the bank. We can open these up and see what we get. Like I said, the loot table for some of the satchels has changed, so I'm not expecting the same results as I got last time, but you know, like I've said before, until we test, we don't know. So this is 20 bags. Let's open all of these, see what we get. Well, we got 2 lightless silk out of that first bag. That's good. 100k leather incoming. We didn't get any leather in that bag, actually. Oh, but we did get 125 in that bag. along with 25 pallid bones and 25 callid hide. Ooh, callid hide as well. Ooh. It's also good to see that we got ourselves a whole bunch of lacerite and we got the zone specific ores in there. We didn't get any cloth that time. I'm going to put the cloth out here because that's actually what I want. Everything else is just a bonus. I really just want the silk. Sorry. There we go. There's 2 more pieces of silk. They have changed they've changed the loot table on this one as well. I can already tell. We're only up to 10 pieces of silk, which is sad, but I almost feel it's not worth like taking down the data for this because I know full well that the amount of leather that we're getting is broken. They're making it much more difficult to get this silk, aren't they? We opened 20 bags and we only got 20 pieces of silk. Oh my days. Am I ever going to be able to craft these legendary items? I suppose I should write this down, you know, for science and all that. Do I think that it's worthwhile putting these numbers in the old category? I think it probably is. We used to get the rare stuff from these bags that we now don't. We weren't getting any rare items. We were only getting, like, we got zone specific herbs. This I think this column is worth putting over here now. It's worth zeroing these out. How many bags did we just open? We opened 20, didn't we? We got 77 pieces of meat. Let me just quickly do a inventory sweep. Get things looking sensible. So, 50 shards. 50 shards, 100 dust. 38, is that the Vigil's torch? I can't even remember which one that is. Vigil's torch. 38. 190 Death Blossom. Pretty solid. 38 Marrow Root. 38 of the other one, Rising Glory. 38 Widow Bloom. They've definitely created a baseline in terms of how many that you get, which is good. 55 meat. What meat is it? It's the shank, isn't it? 55 of the shanks. 55 of the creepy crawler meat. 55 of the phantasmal haunch. 55 wings. Sense of pattern, anybody? 55 ribs. And then 77 ethereal meat. 70 piranhas. 70 bonefish. 70 pike. 70 iridescents. And 70 lost souls. 18 of the Sinvir ore. 18 Phaedrum, 18 Oxane, 18 Solarium ore. It's not called Solarium ore, but it's easier to say. 90 porous stone and 90 lacerite. 175 callous hide. 175 bones. 2, 4, 6, 875 desolate leather. Oh my god. 200 cloth. 200 cloth and 20 lightless silk. The amount of leather doesn't sound broken, to be honest. You go out to skin a dozen beasts and you get more leather than what we get after waiting for a week. Yeah, but that's like you've got to look at it in relation to anything else. Like, to get only 18 pieces of ore, 18 of each type of ore, to then get over 800 desolate leather. It's definitely broken. I'm telling you now, it's definitely broken. Do you think BFA, World, BOE, Transmogs are good to invest in, or are they in the same boat as mounts, meaning that somebody will have a crap load of those? Yeah. When I was multi-boxing, I almost got to the point where I decided to vendor some of the BOE epics because, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, if they're going for 100 gold on your server, yeah, sure, pick up a few. But realistically, it ended up only being the rings. It was the Gaunt ring or something that ended up selling really well, but I've got way too much liquid gold and would like to invest in something right now to make gold later. Well, if you've got way too much liquid gold, decide how much of it you're willing to risk, and then decide if that risk is worthwhile. If the risk pays off, great. If the risk doesn't pay off, you've not lost enough that you really care about. That would be my advice. Right, let's put these materials then in the bank. You think we got enough leather by now? The problem is we've got all of this desolate leather, which sounds great, but we've only got like 250 callous hide, which won't get us anywhere when it comes to crafting legendaries. Oh, T-Boos, obviously. T-Boos was an exception to the rule. You can still sell T-Boos for 50k easy. And actually, T-Boos is probably one that will most definitely still be purchased purely on the basis of transmog. But T-Boos had a considerably lower drop rate than any of the other world drop BOEs. I had 10 times the amount of other BOEs drop. I think I only had like maybe 3-4 T-Boos drop all expansion for me. And I in comparison to, I probably had 10 to 15 of all of the other ones at some point. So where's our cloth then? There's the cloth we need to send over. We can send the shrouded cloth over as well. Oh, there was these novice overflowing ones. I probably should have opened those as well, just because, but...
I need to get closer.
Who's my enchanter? This dude. You can have that. And my cloth should go to this dude. I got 15 million to risk. Well, there you go then. Invest in whatever the hell you want. If it pays off, great. If not, it's not going to really be much of an issue. How are we doing, Bert? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Enchanting. Where's the enchanted lightless silk? Go. Craft those. Whilst this is crafting, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, guys. I'll be back with you in 2 minutes. Alrighty. Got my goal from professions, 15 million though is enough to make sure you could be the first to make rank 4 legendaries through buying anything remotely cheap at launch week. Yeah, absolutely. But as we recently just saw, it's like to get every tailoring plan to rank. What did we work it out? Well, I tell you what, we'll look in a minute. Hang fire. These should have crafted now. There's 20 more of these bad boys. Sending this to, who are we sending this to? I can never remember who there we go. Have some of those. Did you check your Twitter DM? Did I check my Twitter DM? Let's have a looky. Best to craft for blacksmithing. Looking like legs for blacksmithing. Definitely looking like the finger for jewel crafting. Legs for leatherworking on the leather side. Pretty even on the male side for hunters and shamans. And then oh hang on, that's the same one. And finally for tailoring. Yeah, obviously the cloak for tailoring, but apart from that, it's quite even. Interesting. Appreciate that, my friend. Thank you. We will add that into the spreadsheet in some fashion. GG, good work on that one. Alright, so we should now should, in theory, be able to craft one more of these. What do we reckon then, guys? What do we reckon? How many rank 2s do you reckon we're going to need to craft to get to rank 3? What are we thinking? I'm hoping that it stays at 5. I'm really hoping that it stays at only 5. Bearing in mind it was 10, 5, 5 before. We now need to make 15 rank 1s. So they've obviously felt the need to change something. Do we think that it's going to be 5, or do we think it's going to be 10? Yeah, I'm somewhat in the 10 category myself, if I'm honest. But let's see. Let's see. Let's go. We gain 10 experience for every rank 2 that we craft. Do we reckon this experience bar is going to say 50? Or do we reckon this experience bar is going to say 100? Diddle 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 diddle. 75? What? What? It's not even an even number. It's legitimately not even an even number. Oh, Blizzard. Oh, Blizzard. Right, okay. I'll just craft half a cape then, sure. Right, well. Oh, Jesus. Right, well, basically, what that means is you could theoretically create another rank 1 to get the 5 experience, and then create 7 rank 2s to maximize it at 75. The question then becomes, if and as and when we make the last one, does the experience roll over, or does it cap, then give you rank 3 and then start from 0 again? If it rolls over, it's fine. We now just make 8 of these. Does the rank 1 count for XP towards the rank 2? This is a possibility, but of course the fact that the material difference has gone from 34 and 19 up to 53 and 30. The materials haven't doubled, but the experience you gained has doubled. So on a per experience basis, it is still cheaper. If you're looking at gaining experience, it is still cheaper to craft rank 2s. Sorry, not cheaper. It's more effective to rank 2s for the... Hey, Jeffy, coming in clutch with the materials there. Shout out. Thank you. Very much appreciate. Very much appreciate. The possibility... Yeah, my question now is going to be quite simple. Does the experience roll over? In fact, I'm going to do a quick reload, in case it's just a visual glitch. So, now if we look at the cape, yeah, what? Okay. Yeah, so it's more efficient to craft rank 2s, but obviously this all falls into demand. Like, although it may be more efficient for you to craft rank 2s, if the 15 of the rank 1s that you've crafted end up all selling on the auction house, it is probably way more beneficial for you to craft rank 1s to then have them up on the auction house to be selling them if they're selling like hotcakes, than it is to be crafting rank 2s where you may not sell them. So we're back in a position of like, well, what do you do? Okay, this is interesting. Well, you say that people will prefer rank 2s, but you never know. If we've... oh, fuck knows how I'm meant to work out my spreadsheet now then, thinking about that. How the... Okay, sure. Someone was on meth when creating these numbers, I can't even. Yeah. Yeah, why would you give 10 experience and then only require 75 experience? I'm gonna make half. Ugh. Can I get to rank 3? Realistically, with these numbers, no. Not right now, no. Not without crazy amounts of enchanted lightless silk. First, I can check if a rank 1 counts towards the rank 2 experience. You're right, I probably can. Let's take this generous donation of lightless silk and turn it into enchanted lightless silk quickly. Let me send this over. Who am I sending it to? I'm sending it to this dude. I'm likely to also then need some more dust on that character. Let's see if I've got plenty more dust on this dude. What a shit show this whole system is. But the advantage is that going forward, if we can push that cloak to rank 3, at least, we'll always be able to see how much experience we need for each ranks. So, if they then in the future, before Shadowlands comes out, change anything, we won't need to redo all of this again, as we'll already have a tailor with a higher rank unlocked. So let's now take out the, let's just take a stack of dust. Yeah, I think that's a good shout. Let's test if crafting another rank 1 gives us experience towards rank 3, albeit only 5 instead of 10. All for science. We need to go. Who was my enchanter? This dude. I was checking the beta and noticed that you only get the materials for the legendaries from enchanting, like the Elysium enchanted bar. Is that true? Yes. Yes. Yeah, an enchanter has to have their finger in all of the pies, at least in somewhat of a fashion. Because it's only an enchanter that has access to these 3 plans. They're the only ones that can make, well, I mean, the hint is in the name there. Enchanted Elysium bar, enchanted callous hide, and enchanted lightless silk. But this is still not reason enough to have enchanting on your main. Just say it. The rest of the profession is still completely broken. Yes, you can make these, but there's not going to be any profit in these. I guarantee you. An enchanted lightless silk will literally sell for 2x the cost of a lightless silk. There will be very little profit in this, because everybody can have an enchanter really quickly and easily. How many can you craft a day? As many as you want. Would you suggest pairing it with tailoring instead? I wouldn't suggest pairing it with anything. I'd throw it on an ult that you don't plan to play and just send all of your BOEs to that character. There's not even you don't even need to do a rep grind to get these anymore. You just need to max it out. Literally the only plans that I don't have is the Crafter's Mark II, which is pretty fundamentally not necessary for an enchanter because you don't craft gear, and the ability to turn sacred shards into dust. But even then, you only need to be honoured with the Wild Hunt to get that, which you could just, bang out a few world quests and have that no problem. There's really no reason to have enchanting with anything. until they change it, until they change something. Until they change it so that you can't turn sacred shards into eternal crystals and that you can't turn dust into sacred shards. Until they change that, the profession's broken. Alchemy also does it? What were we talking about there? Alchemy also does what? Can you use Crafter's Mark II on blacksmithing weapons? No, you can't. That's a good question. No, you can't. No, the maximum item level. I think I briefly mentioned this in my blacksmithing deep dive, but the maximum item level you can get your blacksmithing weapons to is 117 maybe. You can't craft endgame weapons on a blacksmith as it stands currently. The enchanted stuff. Not unless they've changed something very recently. Alchemists make the Shadowghast ingots. That's one of their daily transmutes. Maybe that's what you are confusing. Right, so now what we can do is go, if we make one of these, if we make a rank 1, it's only going to give us 5 experience, but does that experience count towards, now it specifically says rank 2 experience. Crafting this recipe will provide experience towards unlocking rank 3. Oh, unless we do it, we don't know, do we? Okay, so yeah, it's as simple as you gain 5 experience for a rank 1. If you create a rank 2, you're going to get 10 experience. So you probably actually want to make 16 rank 1s instead of 15. That's probably going to be the most optimal way to do it in terms of materials versus experience. This is not based on like potential gold you can make from it. If we're just looking to gain as much experience to get ourselves towards rank 3 and rank 4, you probably actually want to make 16 rank 1s instead of the 15 that is sensible to do so. So then you only need to make 7 rank 2s to get to rank 3. Hot levels of Jesus, this is ridiculous. Unless, once again, unless you only make 15 rank 1s and then make 8 rank 2s and the experience rolls over into rank 3. Oh God, this is bonkers. If the XP spills over, the XP from rank 2 goes into rank 3, then that's the better option. Yeah, so, yeah. If it... Yeah. If the experience rolls over, it's going to be more beneficial to start crafting rank 2s as soon as you can and just create 8 of them. That will then put you into... That will put you 5 experience into whatever you then need to get from rank 3s. Which is batshit level crazy. But yeah, it's a thing. I would assume that a rank 3 then grants you 15 experience. Yes, I would go by that assumption as well. Quick maths, quick numbers then. So if we need to, if ultimately we need to create 8 rank 2s, But we're assuming that Blizzard knows what it's doing. Yeah, true. I'm just now looking at it from the point of view of how many enchanted lightless silts do I need to get this up to rank 3. The trend continues, you'd probably need to make 5 rank 3s. But it may gain 14.76 experience. Yeah. This is my point. It seems very much like somebody hasn't gone in and said, right, well, this... Because look, I mean, who in the right mind came up with 53 shrouded cloth as a number? Who said, yeah, I tell you what, 53 sounds about balanced? Nobody said that. No, those words are not going to come out of a developer's mouth. What's happened is they've got some sort of algorithm and they've tuned a knob and it's rounded it to the nearest number. And it's because of weird things like this. And this kind of crazy, oh, you only need 75 experience, but you get 10 experience per. So yeah, just craft half a cape. It's these kind of things that I think come into play when you just tune a knob rather than set the numbers yourself. Which equally means that by the time it goes live, I feel this will have changed again. What a dumbass, what a next level crazy dumbass system this is. And this is just tailoring. Let's not forget we have leatherworking, blacksmithing and jewel crafting that could all still be completely different. At this point I'm not even confident. I'm not confident in saying that because I've tested on tailoring that it's going to be the same on the other professions. They only have 2 weeks. I wouldn't rely on change. I don't rely on any changes, but yeah, I get what you mean. We're basically 2.5 weeks until the launch. When does it come out? Was it the 20? Fuck, what's launch day? 27th? I don't know. Do you not have enough leather to test it on the leatherworking? It's the fact I have a lot of desolate leather. That's not going to be my bottleneck though. The bottleneck will be like the heavy callus hide. That'll be the bottleneck for leatherworking. But theoretically, if I need the materials, it's 10 times easier for me to go out and do some skinning. So maybe I should do it on leatherworking as well. The downside of all of this is though, guys, is that I don't have time. That's the honest answer. I don't have time. I've got to call the stream there for today, guys. I did say it's going to be a slightly shorter stream today. I'm away for the weekend, so I wanted to make sure that what I'll do is because this is all a little bit weird and wacky, I'll make a 5-10 minute quick and simple overview video of what's happening. Not in terms of it being a guide, but just so that people can like keep up with it. Which I'll post on the channel in an hour or so. I've got about 2 hours until I physically need to leave the house, you see. So I'll do what I can. This is starting to hurt my brain and I'm just listening and leveling. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It's crazy. It's a bit of a mad one. But guys and girls, thank you for this week. Once again, we've had an incredible amount of viewership this week. Our concurrent viewers for the stream seem to be doubling almost every week at the moment, which is crazy good. So I suppose I should say a big thank you to anybody that's choosing to continue to watch the stream. We've got a fair few regular faces in the chat now, so thank you for that. We've even got a few people that have chosen to join the coffee club, so shout out to you guys, coffee club, supporting the channel. Very much appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend, guys. I will be back on Monday. There will be a video out later today talking about this in at least some fashion. It will be probably just a simple talking head video, but I'll try and explain what's going on at least in some fashion. So, thanks once again, guys. I've been Manthieus, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.